4 out of every 100,000 prostitutes working in America, where prostitution is illegal, are murdered every single year, making it the most dangerous job in America over fishermen, loggers, and aircraft pilots. Israel recently proposed some legislation that would criminalize prostitution all across Israel. Now, we at the campus try to make everything safer for everybody, and the world is doing the exact same thing. They're constantly searching for a safer way for everybody to live. Now, I am a feminist and an avid researcher of women's rights controversies, and I also have a really strong interest in American taboo, meaning I'm always on a constant search for answers to support one side or another of a controversial topic, prostitution being one of the biggest in America. With both sides of the argument screaming louder with this new proposed legislation, I would like to describe the loudest points on either side. Today I will be illustrating the pros and cons of both legalization and criminalization of prostitution across the world. With prostitution being such a high safety risk of a job, both options can improve safety of the prostitutes and buyers, including health regulations and fewer chances for risky occurrences. However, they can also hinder the safety of the prostitutes, with fewer opportunities for consequences of abusers and fear of reporting any kind of abuse. Criminalization can provide many benefits in the health and safety of buyers and sellers of sex. However, it may not cease activity entirely and can actually lead to stronger abuses. By legalizing prostitution, prostitutes can be protected from STDs, physical abuses, rapes, pregnancies, and psychological trauma. According to an August 2004 edition of Violence Against Women by Melissa Farley, 68% of prostitutes across 9 countries displayed cases of PTSD, which surpasses the rates of battered women, rape survivors, and torture survivors. Clearly, psychological trauma is a huge issue amongst people in the sex industry. Scott Berteau of the February 2012 edition of the Worcester Telegram Gazette claimed that in Canada, where prostitution is legal, there is a registry for workers that would identify basically any part of a prostitute's body. This can include tattoos, any kind of dental records, any kind of scars, and everything down to their favorite panties, so that way they can identify them when they are inevitably murdered. Unfortunately, this is a big problem with prostitutes, is that they are constantly under attack. However, if prostitution is criminalized, prostitutes are less likely to report abuses and murder for fear of incarceration. Melanie Reed of the December 2006 edition of the Herald claimed, quote, "Serial killers know sex workers are afraid to seek protection from police, and the public believes violence is just a part of a prostitute's job description. This is a clear indicator that the people believe that prostitutes basically deserve any kind of punishment that they get from their industry." Nikki Hodgson, from an article in January 2012, claims, "Brothel owners are arrested, and when that happens, prostitutes keep working. This just means that now they don't have a home to go to, and they have less protection against abusers and rapists." A former prostitute had claimed that she was attacked by an armed gang in her brothel, and when she went to report it to the police, they were actually more concerned about arresting people for brothel keeping than even going after the gang. Now, knowing these risks, it can be arguable that legalization is safer. However, it can also lead to harm. Health and safety regulations can be mandatory and put into place for protection. Michelle Cook reports in January 2012 that New Zealand, where prostitution is legal, condoms are delivered to the New Zealand Prostitution Collective, or an organization for prostitutes, en masse. Before legalization, women who had condoms on their person could be prosecuted for solicitation. And Umberto Torelli also claims that mandatory health checkups would encourage safe working, so if you have an STD, you would be forced to stop working. However, it can also give them a false sense of security. Melissa Farley claims that suggesting that legislation would protect prostitutes where rape is a near weekly occurrence would be a cruel lie. So, should Israel criminalize prostitution? Ruthie Glass, who reports on this in the Huffington Post of February 2012, says 15,000 workers are in Israel, 5,000 of which are minors. Will criminalization protect them? Will it decrease trade? Will legalization allow free exchange and tangible benefits for all parties? We must all face more dilemmas as policies change and grow. Now, both sides are screaming their arguments, so we have to learn how to tune out the volume and come to our own conclusions.